Okay, right, guys, I'm going to start off. So, hello, everybody. My name is Kate. I'm not sure if I was speaking to a few of you before, but I'm here today with my colleague Tara,
Hi guys, how are you?
who's over there, and we're here to talk about choosing the right TEFL course. I assume that most of you here don't have one and you're looking to enroll onto a TEFL course. So we do like to treat this as an interactive session. Okay, I don't want you just to be listening to our voices for the whole time. So feel free at any stage to kind of unmute yourself and ask a question. It's no problem at all. And if you want to write them into the chat box, if you want to write to them personally, there's also a function in the chat box there. And if we don't get around to them in the middle of them, we will get them answered at the end in kind of a Q&A session. But if anything pops into your head and you kind of just want to jot it down or say it to me, then feel free to interrupt me. And please interrupt me with any questions that you do have. Okay, so myself and Tara, we both work at the Tefl Institute here, and we both work as course specialists and help people to enroll onto the right course. We will kind of go a bit later into our own backgrounds in Tefl and how we got here and things like that. But I'm just kind of going to run through a teeny bit before we get into that section. Okay, so yeah, deciding what TEFL course is for you is it's the first thing I would say is that I know you're all thinking there's an absolute overload of information online, and that is very true. Um, there's lots of providers out there. There's lots of different courses. There's 120s. There's level 5s. So you're probably like, what? Which one do I do? And things like that. So what will really help me as well in this session is if people want to again pop into the chat box what their plans might be, okay, because there's different TEFL courses suited for different type of um like if you can just pop in there, I want to teach online, teach abroad, teach whatever it may be, just put it into the chat box there so I get an idea of what TEFL courses you might be interested in, or I can kind of help you best. This is a smaller webinar and we do that on purpose so that everybody actually gets a chance to kind of um, ask their questions and give their profile and things like that. So here Yvonne said teaching online, that's great. Yvonne will
So
run
popular at the moment, teaching online.
literally, yeah. Um, okay, so the first thing I suppose is if you have any interest in where you're going, please write that in. Are you interested in teaching adults, teenagers, or children? Is there a particular kind of focus group you want? Then definitely pop that into the chat box too. Could people let me know if they have degrees or they don't have degrees, or what their type of career might
Yeah,
be?
all industry experience, guys, no matter what it is, let us know because you would be surprised at what's applicable in the TEFL world. Even if you think, oh, I'm working in science, there is courses as well that match up to that.
Absolutely. If you have a corporate business background, guys, that can be very valuable to you as well. Um, in the TEFL industry, are you looking for a career change? Are you looking for just to upskill? Are you looking to teach in your own country? Any of that kind of information would be great for us. And I can see things coming in here. So teaching online while traveling, teaching online, teaching abroad next year, teach online with the aim to go abroad, teaching in Germany, teaching, okay, you have a teaching degree in PE and geography and Limerick. That's interesting. We'll come back to that one. Tara, I can see Tara there. She's like, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
um, interested in Asia, Taiwan or Southern Italy, no degree, but have been trained as a teacher in Italy, currently working in financial services. Very interesting. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to quickly touch on is the TEFL industry it can be treated as something like, for example, if you want to make a career out of it, or if you want to kind of do it for a gap year or a couple of weeks, it can be treated to all. But they some people have it in their heads, if they do a TEFL course, you have to go backpacking around Asia. That's not the case at all. There's serious careers in TEFL and language schools and things like that. Or they're here, yeah, teaching online and abroad, have a degree in business in German, and I work in tech sales. Okay, great.
As
Um,
well as the TEFL degree, a lot of people think, oh, when I change career now, I'll be starting at the bottom rung of the ladder. It really doesn't have to be that way. Depending on what course you can take, it can be a very parallel career move. You could come in and be kind of higher up in the industry, depending what course you do look at as well. So don't get disheartened thinking, oh, I have all these amazing qualifications in my industry already. I'm tired. I don't want to go back to the start. There's loads of different opportunities for you to come in at a level you feel is appropriate for you.
Absolutely. And the first thing I suppose that I will say, the industry standard all over the world, okay, the minimum amount of hours required at the moment to become a fully licensed Tefl tutor is 120 hours. Okay, that's what employers would expect of anybody. Now, that's starting to change a small bit. Like, for example, when I started Tefl, like in 2013, I think it was, 120 hours was the standard, and it still sort of is. But in places, just for anybody who might be interested in teaching in Ireland or a native speaking country like the US or Canada or Australia, they require a level 5 TEFL now. Okay, so if that's what's a plan in your head, I'd be definitely going for the level 5 course upwards. And in places in the Middle East, so like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Saudi, all these places are now saying on their job posts, if you have a look at Indeed or wherever you look at your jobs, they'll say level 5 TEFL required. Okay, so at the moment, people are coming to us and they're saying, what type of course should you do? Naturally, unless you have a background in the kind of education industry or teaching, I'm always saying to people, I do the level 5 course and upwards, only because I can see the world going in that way. Now, if you want to go to Spain or France or Italy at anything at the moment, it's fine. And you can get by with 120 hour, but I just at the moment, with the world the way it's going, the competition's going up, it would be in your best interest to do the level 5 if you're not already in the teaching industry. Sure, and Tara will go on about in a bit her experience, because she's actually comes from a teaching background as well, which will be great, a bit of an insight. So that's one thing. If you're thinking to go either to a native speaking country or the Middle East at the moment, it must be a minimum of level 5. The next thing I'd say is, if you don't have a degree, it's got to be a level 5 as well. If you have a degree, you'll get away with the 120, but yeah, so if you don't have a degree, level 5 is a must. Like, just for example, that's a great there, Jackie, I can see you have a master's in primary school teaching. For someone like you now with that profile, the 120 hours perfect, because you already have your level 9 in teaching. Do you know what I mean? So you just need the very basic one. So the 120, Jackie, is ideal for you. The next factor, or something I would consider, is teaching practice. If you don't have any teaching practice in the education industry or in general, I would be going for a hybrid course, which includes your basic theory course and teaching practice, okay? Because a lot of employers, even online employers now, are looking for teaching practice, okay? And you might say, how am I supposed to get teaching practice now with everything that's going on and trying to get to schools and things like that? But we actually run a 10-hour teaching practice course, and it can be combined with our online course, and it gives you a teaching practice certificate, okay? And that's really, really going to stand to you when you're applying for jobs online, or if you're looking to get work abroad, okay? So
yeah, teaching practice is invaluable. Like, I'm a secondary school or a high school teacher myself, and I'm newly qualified to it now. And it's overwhelming to go into a classroom situation if it's your first time anyway. And just having the support system of someone having watched you before, told you what you're doing right, or told you where you can improve, it is a massive confidence boost, and it just gives you the direction and where to go, especially if maybe teaching is a completely new venture to you and you're not so sure about it. I would definitely recommend the teaching practice. There is a reason why people look for it on their job applications or putting up posts, and it is just because you are more confident from the day you've done teaching practice to go into a classroom.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And I always say, the more teaching practice you can get under your belt, the better. um Great that you've sent in all those profiles, guys. I'll go through them individually at the end, but that's fantastic. Thank you for sending those in. So yeah, as we said, native speaking countries or the Middle East, level 5. If you've no degree, a level 5. If you've no teaching practice, definitely look at a hybrid course. And then if you're somebody like Jackie here, who has a master's in primary school teaching, then the 120 hours will suit you perfect because you already have a level 9 in teaching. The next thing then you kind of want to be looking at or thinking about when you're enrolling onto a course is what kind of niche or what kind of path you want to go down with TEFL teaching, because TEFL teaching, everyone thinks the 120-hour TEFL course, that's your general English. Okay, that licenses you to teach general English, which is basic error correction. It's teaching the 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. But that's the extent of it, really. As some of you might know, if you go to a language school, for example, in Spain or France or Italy or Dubai, language schools work in a way that in the morning, classes are always held and they are general English. So students come, they pay to go to language schools, and in the morning from 9 to 12, you have general English courses, right? With the basic primary TEFL qualification, you could teach these classes, right? Then we have the break in school, and then in the second half of the day, most students who haven't paid for a specialist course or a specialist language holiday or whatever they're doing will go on excursions, okay, with the assistants, and they go figure out where, I don't know, go on some trips and day outs and things like this. But the students who have paid for a more extensive package in the schools will go on to specialize in a certain subject. So this might be taking an exam, so the IELTS exam, the Cambridge exam, the TOEIC exam, or it might be I want to prepare for business English. So these specialist courses that you get paid more for as a teacher are always held in the second half of the day at a language school. Now that's if you're getting work abroad and if you're teaching at a school. You'd want to look at upskilling your current or the basic qualification and adding on those kind of niche areas.
As well, guys, kind of remember who is opting to do a Teach English course or learning to get English off you guys. A lot of them, this is their chance at a new opportunity. They're looking for citizenship in English-speaking countries. The majority of them are looking to do an exam predominantly. So I really do recommend kind of doing one of these exam courses. It'll just improve your employability by an incomparable amount. The majority of TEFL students are looking to do one of these exams.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I will go into it now a small bit more about my own background, but I do teach online as well. And I can charge nearly double the amount for an hour than I would with a general English. So if I have a student for an hour and they just want to focus on their speaking general English, you can charge an amount. But if somebody wants to prepare for an exam, you can double that. So that's great. And that's good news. And it makes you stand out from the crowd as well. When you are applying to a job, instead of having one primary qualification, you actually have a primary qualification, but you also have 6 specialist courses on top of that, which makes you stand out. So yeah, that's kind of the 4 factors that you'd want to consider when choosing a TEFL course. So kind of bear them in mind when you're choosing which one you want to go for. And again, as well, with the specialist courses, if you're looking to teach kind of kids or adults, that's another thing you have to consider, because if you're looking at teaching adults, as Tara said, it's going to be more than likely exam preparation. They want to go get visas, they want to go work, or they're in the business world, corporate world, or it'll be kids. And we do have a teaching young learners course that works in conjunction as well with the primary one. So if teaching children is the route you want to go down, then it'd be definitely worth your while going onto that one as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to leave Tara to kind of give you a bit of a background on her own TEFL journey and how she got where she is today. And again, keep throwing in questions and we'll get to them at the Q&A session at the end.
Hi guys, so my name's Tara and I've been working in the TEFL world for about 6 years now. How it started was I did an undergraduate degree. I did a degree in English and I did a degree in Gaeilge, which is the national language here in Ireland. And during my undergrad degree, we had the opportunity to go out on a placement. We could have gone anywhere we wanted to, but I chose to go to a school. And when I got to this school, there was a number of learners who didn't have English as a first language. And the way the Irish school system works is there's not that much resource or support offered to these students. So I spent a lot of my time, that was kind of voluntary, working for these students. And then I really started to empathize for people who were in this position. So many systems are rigged against people who don't have English as a first language. And I really started to enjoy seeing these students kind of develop and get more integrated into the local community and just feel more confident in themselves. And I was like, wow, this is a really fulfilling side of the job. I really like this. I hope I don't ever move away from this. So then I finished my undergrad and I decided to do masters in education. I wanted to become a high school teacher or a secondary school teacher here in Ireland. And it was fairly full time. I'm still doing it. I'm doing my thesis at the minute, but it was really, really busy. But at the same time as it being busy, it was very expensive. And I had a lot of loans and bills to pay. And I was like, oh God, what am I going to do? I can't really keep up my waitressing job. So just by chance, I decided to do a TEFL qualification and I applied to a local language school that allowed me to work, as Kate said, 9 to 1. And it paid double the rate of what minimum wage is here in Ireland. So it allowed me to have a full-time job while working part-time hours. And when I started it, I was working with predominantly learners from kind of Southern America, and I absolutely loved it. It was such a meaningful job. Everyone really engaged in the learning. It was very different to teaching in a high school where sometimes the students don't want to learn. All the TEFL students really do want to learn and really do want to get on. And it was just a really meaningful experience for everyone involved. So then I finished up working in that and I came here and I've been teaching here for a while. And then during my summers while I was doing my master's, I also taught around Europe. I taught in Spain, I taught in France, I taught for a little while in Germany as well. And just working in different sections, I worked with younger kids in Spain, I worked with older kids in France. All the while, I've been able to keep TEFL kind of going while doing my studies and able to support myself while using TEFL as my way of doing it.
Yeah.
And now I'm here.
And now you're here talking to these wonderful people. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just tell you a little bit about my background. So I started in the TEFL world, I think I did initially a degree in early years education when I was 2010, I think, and I finished in 2013. And the plan was always to go to primary school teaching. You know, I wanted to go and do the primary school teaching, the 2-year conversion course in Mary I, which is what a lot of people do. So what I did for my 3rd year placement, I got placed at a primary school. And in the 3rd year, you get the chance to go abroad. So I chose to go to Malta for a 3-month placement, which was unbelievable, but kind of similar to Tara. I kind of got thrown into the deep end. I was meant to be doing a primary school placement, and the principal of the school just came to me and said, you know, we have a lot of children here who don't speak English. Would you mind teaching them? And I said, I've never taught English before. I don't know how to do that. And they said, oh, but you speak English. You know, you can do it. Just go on. And I said, okay, Jesus, I might as well take an opportunity here. So I kind of got thrown into the deep end, thrown into a class. And even though I'm more than sure I wasn't doing it right at the time, I definitely figured out my passion for it there and then. Absolutely loved it. And I was like, this is something, as you said, Tara, like something really fulfilling about it or something, you know, it just, you know, they could integrate into society so much more, and it just makes the world a difference that you're doing something good for somebody. So I ended up basically teaching English for 3 months unexpectedly at a placement, and I came back, I finished my course in UCC in Cork, and I said, I'm not going to do my master's, I'm going off traveling teaching English, right? Never been back. I always say to myself, I might go back at some stage to do my master's, but I don't know what'll ever happen, right? But yeah, so since 2013 then, I went back to Malta then, loved it so much, spent a year at a language school there teaching, spent 6 months in Germany, spent a small time in Canada, and in Istanbul as well, teaching in language schools. And then when I kind of finished around about 2 years, about 2.5 years doing teaching placements, say in actual schools and kind of normal work days, I decided that I kind of wanted to do a bit more kind of traveling with the teaching. So I decided to start the teaching English online route. And I thought, okay, if I can make money online here, I can just travel around as much as I want. So in 2016, I started with an online company, and I got a job as an online tutor. Worked with them for a year while traveling around. And then 2017, I'm very happy to say that I started my own online business. So I now still run my own online business, And it's my proud moment, and I'm very happy to say that I've been to 25 countries teaching online. So in the last 3 years, I've been to 25, which is a great achievement. But Bolivia, Chile, Peru, Australia, Fiji, New Zealand, Dubai, lots of countries teaching online, and I could do that because I was making money and from my laptop and where there was a Wi-Fi connection. And I always tell this story. The girls are sick of me telling it in work, but it's just so true, and it so needs to be heard that when I say no joke, when I was traveling around Fiji, I they didn't have great Wi-Fi connection in Fiji. So what I did was I ordered like a local SIM card, and paid like 30 or 40 euro, I think it was the equivalent of that, for a month, and had it in my phone, and I hotspotted my laptop. So when I say I was teaching English in a beach hut in Fiji, like really, like you can envision it, that's what I did. And it was just madness, the opportunities I could do and how I could kind of fund myself to get around and things like that. And I finally got back to Ireland then, kind of reluctantly, but I did get back. I kind of decided, okay, I have to do something now and kind of be grown up a small bit. So I came back, and I now decided that why not work as a course specialist or a recruiter to help people do what I did, really, and to tell people how great it is. So people think I'm a bit of a preacher about Tefl. So if anybody ever says to me, "Oh, I don't know what to do," I'm like, "Do Tefl," because you can just do so much with it, and it's you can go anywhere. You can go absolutely anywhere. You can make a career out of it here. I taught in a language school in Cork, in Galway as well. You can teach online, which is my go-to. I love it. I love the freedom of being able to teach where you want. Yeah, and you're actually helping people, to do something good with their lives.
Mm.
So that's my background.
It is such a meaningful job, guys. Honestly, when you see someone finally be able to communicate and finally integrate into a community that maybe they felt a little bit marginalized within, it is such an amazing experience. It really does make you feel like your job is worth something.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. And yeah, so I've been through every TEFL course and every specialist course that you could ever imagine. So if there's any questions on those, uh, please let me know. And just with the specialist courses as well, just another thing, just for example, when I was teaching in Germany, when I went to move to Germany, I applied for a job at a school, but I actually didn't get it because, and it was a really good pay and a really good salary. But in Germany, I didn't know this, but they're very business focused, like in their English centers. So there's this really big chain called Berlitz. I don't know if you've heard it, but there's plenty of language schools around the world with Berlitz, but they're actually primarily business focused. So I didn't get the job because they said to me I needed to have a business English qualification, which is only a 30-hour extra course, but it still meant that I couldn't get the job at the time. So I only had my basic 120, and I think I had the IELTS preparation course, but not the business. So I didn't get that job because of that. So depending on what kind of niche you want to teach and how employable you want to be and how competitive you want to be in the market, it's definitely worth doing those kind of niche courses.
Especially if you are coming from a big business background, your industry experience is invaluable. You know the vernacular that is used at these meetings, and they will really look for that on your CV. So having your business English qualification and having industry experience, you are so marketable within the TEFL world in the business English trope.
Yeah, exactly. If you just kind of want to go on there, the next part, Tara, about what we can kind of organize for people.
Yeah, so we have lots of different opportunities that are available to you guys. So for example, on the .ie website, there is an internship opportunity. So an internship opportunity is where they get you a placement abroad, they sort your accommodation, they set you up basically to teach English in a foreign country, and there you go, you're off. And you have lots of different ones available now. We recently opened Taiwan, there was Italy, there was Thailand. Oh, off the top of my head, what other ones were there, Kate?
Oh, South Korea, France, Italy, and we said, yeah, there's
But sometimes it is very overwhelming to move to a new country and not sure where to start looking for employment. So these internship opportunities are amazing, and they do give you that kind of cushioning that you don't have to go over and find a job and you're not out on your own yourself. Everything is sorted out for you. The only thing about them is you do need a college degree to engage in one of these internships. As Kate was mentioning, the countries where these are set up, they are predominantly looking for college graduates and level 5 TEFL qualifications also.
Yeah, and what I might do there now is just run through a few questions there that we'll just put into the chat box. So just everyone, there's a few there about teaching online. There's a couple that came in there are teaching online. So definitely with the teaching online, I would suggest what's more important than the level 3 or the level 5. If you have a degree, the 120 is fine. If you don't have a degree, go for the level 5. But for the teaching online, because it's such a massive market at the moment and there is a lot of demand now, even though there's a massive demand for students, there's also an influx of teachers at the moment. So to kind of set yourself apart from the crowd, I would really considering doing the, like, for example, the 240 hours or the 310 hours, because again, as I said before, if you're going with the primary TEFL qualification, or if you're going with 5 independent certificates and you're licensed to teach in 5 different areas, you're just going to stand out. And if you work more as well, like on the business side of things or the exam sides, you get paid a lot more. So not even are you more employable, you actually get more money out of it. So that's my advice for teaching online. And if you don't have teaching practice, 100% do the hybrid course. 100% if you don't have it, because the hybrid course is actually, the teaching practice is actually done online, so you actually get the feel of what it's like to be a student in their shoes. So you're kind of swapping the role, and it'll really stand to you then as well when applying to jobs.
It's really interesting to do a teaching practice online, because my final year teaching practice in my Masters of Education, because of COVID, had to revert back into an online situation. It was something called micro teaching, where you watch other teachers teach. You are in the student position, as Kate said, and it's amazing the things you pick up in the student seat. You just see mistakes other teachers make, and you really notice these things when you're looking at it from a critical teaching approach. It really is invaluable. Even my inspectors were saying that really every education degree should incorporate a little micro teaching module, so you do see the silly mistakes other people make and know yourself then. Because when you're teaching yourself, it's so hard to concentrate on everything at the one time. Sometimes it's really nice to sit back and watch someone else and be like, oh, okay, I know what works, now I know what doesn't work.
Yeah, oh, so true. And there's another one there, Deepthi, you said you were interested in teaching in Germany. My advice there, do the business course if you don't have it. Germany's massive for business English, so that might be my advice there. On there, you said you have a teaching degree from Limerick in PE and geography, then the 120-hour would suit you perfect. But again, if you're looking to make that bit more money or want a bit more employability kind of chances, then go for the specialist course ones as well.
Yeah. I would recommend especially the IELTS. You probably are very comfortable teaching exam curriculum. You know how to prepare students for exam situations. Again, employers would really like to see your experience of teaching students, getting them ready for the leaving cert or the junior cert. That is completely transferable skills into the IELTS world.
Literally, yeah. Interested in Asia, in Taiwan or Southern Italy? Okay, with Taiwan, you need a degree for the working permit. That is one thing. And guys, the one thing I do want to say about a degree is don't ever let a degree hold you back from going to the countries that you might want to go to. Like, for example, say Dubai. For the working permit, you need a degree, right? If you don't have a degree, then what your options are is, have you thought about going on a different type of visa? Go on a working holiday visa where you might be able to teach online. So you mightn't be able to work in a language school in Dubai, but you can still teach online and get to the places that you'd like to go. So it's not like it's ruled out. You know, you're just, it's the work, it's not the schools that are requiring the degree, it's the working permit. You know, it's the visa situation. That's the kind of bump or the obstacle. So teaching online is a fantastic alternative to get to those places that you really want to go.
Yeah, there's definitely ways around everything. Whatever country you want to end up in, ultimately you can with TEFL. It might not be the traditional internship or working visa route. That doesn't mean you won't end up teaching English in that country.
Yeah, fact. And here as well, Southern Italy, you actually don't need, you could, for us, as Irish or UK citizens, or if you're within the European Union, oh well, UK not so much anymore, but for us, we don't need visas, so it's very easy to get work in Italy without a degree if you're Irish.
Yeah, my predominant teaching abroad experience has been in the European Union. I did it while I was doing my degree. They did not even ask in my interviews about what degree I was doing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, okay, Orla, teaching online and abroad. You have a degree, business in German. My advice to you: go to Germany and teach business English. You make loads of money. Um, but yeah, for anybody who's interested in teaching business English, there's a really good online website. Um, that teach English is called Fluentify, and they pay very well. But you need to have a level 5 TEFL cert. You need to have the business English specialist course. You need to have teaching practice, which you can do with the virtual. But most importantly, you need a business background. So it's a very niche website, but if you're somebody like Orla now who has that background, they pay super well. So I would think about going applying to them.
And Orla, just for yourself, it's actually really interesting. I say to my students all the time, because I'm a Gaeilge teacher as well, I teach Irish, and I realised in Ireland, a lot of our problem with second language acquisition skills was we didn't know the English grammar. Like, how could I teach the Tishal Ginnadach when my students didn't know what the genitive case was? And I found my own second language improved so much from teaching TEFL because I finally started to understand the grammar. So it's multifaceted. It'll improve all areas of your lives.
Yeah, exactly. Masters in primary, we said that, Jackie, I would go for the 120. We're looking to teach.
Karen, there is an SNA. Yeah, Karen's an SNA. So again, loads of experience working with young people. Definitely do that teaching English to young people course. Again, just get the name to that experience you already have. Then you have the cert. SNAs are honestly some of the most qualified people. You have such a great rapport with your students. Again, big yourself up. Do an IELTS exam. You are perfectly capable of preparing students to an exam experience. You see it every day in your job. You again would be perfect and really marketable in that field.
That's an interesting question there. What are the entry requirements? There are actually no prerequisites for this course at all. Anybody is eligible to take the course. It's more about, we've designed a course that is completely self-study, and if you want to pass, you will. It just takes a bit of willpower and things like that, but it is designed for anybody to take the course, and we do truly want everybody to pass. So there are no entry requirements for the course.
Answer your question there, the difference between the standard 120 and the level 5 120. So the standard 120, your accreditation comes directly from us. With the level 5 120, it's the equivalent to spending 2 years in a British university. You get an accreditation not only from us, but from TCOOC, the UK grading body. So again, it's just a higher level qualification. Our accreditations are standard to kind of a level 3. Again, as you can imagine, this is 2 step ups. The main difference with the course content is the assessments for the level 3 or our own accreditation, they only need 80% to pass. With the level 5, you do need 100% to pass. Sounds daunting, but it's not actually too bad. And you can attempt the assessments again if needed. Very normal, isn't it, Kate?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just reading through another, I'm trying to get through them all because I'm just looking at the time there, so I'm conscious. But another one, interested in Abu Dhabi, straight away level 5. You have to do the level 5 if you're going to Abu Dhabi. Which course is best to complete to get into work? Like, I go for the level 5. The basic one is 180 hours. If you kind of want to upskill from there or kind of enhance your qualification more, then our most comprehensive course, and I can see Orla has it there, is the 310-hour level 5 hybrid. That includes, it's basically the best of the best. It's the gold standard package. It includes the level 5, it has all the specialist courses, and it has teaching practice. So now, again, obviously with it being the most comprehensive, it is the most expensive. In my opinion, if feasible, I would do it. It opens so many doors.
Yeah, I really recommend everyone to do at least the 300 hour, if not the 310, because you can add on that 10-hour teaching practice later. Because I know I was speaking to lots of people here, you're doing these courses while working full time, and it might be later down the line when you're on holidays from work that you are free to take the teaching practice module. That's completely fine. But if you can get the most comprehensive course and you are in a position to take it, you really should. It just opens so many employment opportunities for you to be able to teach business English, to prepare students for exams, to be able to work with young learners. And I always push the young learner course because it's a different kettle of fish. Like, I'm a secondary school teacher, my sister is a primary school teacher. We have two different, completely different jobs, two different energy levels required, two different teaching methodologies required. Working with young learners is very different to teaching English to other people. You can imagine trying to teach grammar to a 6-year-old is very different to trying to teach grammar to a 16 or 36-year-old. It's very hard to keep them engaged. So this course really does prepare you for that. And it'll prepare you for the unexpected, which young people like to present you with all the time.
Definitely. There's a few other questions there. Can you add on the specialist courses? Yes. It'll work out a little bit more expensive, but that's an option for you. You can start off with the 180 or the 120, whatever one you decide, and then you can add on the specialist modules as you please.
Yeah, guys, don't feel worried if you feel, look, I don't want to do everything at once. A lot of people do feel really overwhelmed starting off their Tefl journey. We understand that taking a career change is not easy. At no point are we ever like, oh, this is easy, it's going to solve all your problems, anything like that. We do understand this is a big undertaking for anyone. And if you'd like to do one course and take 3 weeks off and then attempt another course, that's what that is there for. And we will support you throughout that entire time. Don't ever feel like you have to undertake everything at once. That's why they're there.
And one thing we didn't mention actually, once you're part of the student alumni here at the Tefl Institute, you do have access to our whatever our featured jobs and our jobs board. As part of the student alumni, you do have access to those resources and listings and things like that. And you can just always book in a call with one of our course enrollment specialists, so myself or Tara or one of the girls, and you can kind of say, okay, this is my profile, this is my plan, this is what I got to do. Can you help me? And we'll do our very best to guide you in the right direction. Of course, we can never guarantee jobs, because that's down to a lot of other things like your interview or any other thing. But we do try and help people as best they can. If you say to me, look, I really want to get to Germany, then I will kind of give you your options on getting to Germany and how you can do it and things like that. So we're here to help once you're part of the student alumni, no problem at all. And just book in a call with one of the course enrollment specialists to get that. Yeah.
And if we ever give you a call, because a lot of people are surprised when I call them as a course enrollment officer, I'm just trying to work out the best way to guide you and what you need. Like, ask me as many questions as you want if you do want to ring. That's exactly what I'm there for. And I can find out the best method for you to take. I can give you direction to links where jobs might be in a country you want to teach in. Ask as many questions as you need when we do call, or if you want to call us. Don't be shy at all.
Yeah.
Put me through my paces.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's another 2 questions here that we'll run through. So if you get a package with the 10-hour practice, does the 10 hours have to be completed during a certain time? So that's a very good question, Orla, because actually all our courses, well, 95% of them are self-study, meaning you get a 6-month study timer with all our courses, right? And you can log in and log out as you please. Depending on which course you do, the average time of completion is obviously going to differ. So if you do the 120 hour, it might take you somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks. And then if you do our most comprehensive course, the 310 hour hybrid, it might take you up to 14 weeks. So depending on what course you do, you can log in. If you're working full-time, these courses are designed for people who work and study full-time, okay? We understand that people can't come to the screens at certain times and things like that. So that's why we've designed them the way they are. The only thing is with the 10-hour teaching practice, the virtual teaching practice certificate, that is the only course that we offer that you need to be, say, attending a class at a certain time, because it's with a live tutor. I myself run the courses along with another tutor, Michelle, and they are run Wednesday and Thursday evenings, and Saturday and Sunday mornings, and Saturday and Sunday evenings. So they're half days. So they're 3.5 hours on one day and 3.5 hours on the next day, and they are run over 2 days. So this is the only time that you actually have to book in and log in. I think that was you, Orla. Yeah. So this is the only time that you have to log in, and the rest of it then is completely down to you. And whenever you're free, and log in and log out.
And as we said, don't be deterred from like doing the 300-hour course now and then later on down the line adding in the 10-hour specialist course. No hassle. Some people do like to start their learning before they do the teaching practice. So don't get upset now if you can't do the teaching practice immediately. Not a problem. Ways around everything.
Yeah, exactly. And then Muriel, can you tell us a little bit about your CV service? Yeah, so basically our CV service, you send in your CV. Ideally when your kind of TEFL course is done and you're kind of looking to kind of get going and get moving on a position. And what we do is basically we'll send you out kind of a survey type thing where it'll ask you a few details about yourself and experience, and it's just a very simple survey, and then we kind of put that in a really pretty format, and we've content writers who work on it who might change the language a bit and just make it that bit more I like to say sparkly for employers, and that makes it stand out that little bit better. And we also have actually nice little blogs as well, actually, Muriel, if you want to have a look on how to write a good TEFL CV and how to write a good CV or TEFL cover letter as well. And one more question there, I'll just go into it. Sarah, looking at the 300 versus the 310, is there no specialist courses with the 310? Just young learners and teaching practice? No. With the 310, you get the 180-hour level 5, which is your primary TEFL qualification, and then you get the 4 specialist courses. So you get teaching young learners, you get IELTS, IELTS preparation course, TOEIC preparation course, and business English, and the teaching practice. So you're actually coming out with 6 independent qualifications with that one. And then Yvonne, how can I find the course enrollment specialist meeting link? Okay, what you can do, Yvonne, is if you just want to send in what I can do, I can take your name down here, Yvonne, and I can give you an email afterwards just to book in a time with you. But normally all you have to do is go onto our website and go onto the little live chat service and just say, I want to book a time in with an advisor, that's it. And we'll organize an easy call for you. And what I want to say to everyone as well, because I know people might have plans and things, so I just want to say that we are actually giving, as kind of an incentive of getting back to work, and we're kind of easing out of our restrictions and the world is going back to a small bit of normality.
Slowly.
We are giving everybody here today on the webinar an extra 25% off any TEFL course they choose to enroll in, okay? So it's only for the people on this webinar, and it'll be live for, you can use it up to 48 hours, and it's just May 25 is the code, okay? And that'll give everybody 25% off any course they choose to enroll in. Just as a little thank you for attending today. We do appreciate it. And as well, I'm going to be very cheeky and would love, we're trying to get our word out about our free webinars at the moment. It's just a way of giving back and kind of giving information to people who might want to change their career or move away or move abroad. So we would love a review on the webinar if you guys had time. If not, no problem. And if it's anything negative, then just don't bother with the review. Okay. No, but in all seriousness, I'll put in the link for the review here. And we would absolutely really appreciate it if you had the time just to write a little review on the webinar.
Last minute quick question here. I don't have a teaching experience. Do we also get teaching experience from the business TEFL course too? So not in the business TEFL course, but if you were to book the 310 course, say for example, that hybrid course, you would get the level 5 TEFL course, your IELTS training, your TOEIC training, business English training, teaching young learners, and your teaching experience. Even if you just wanted to take the business English course, we do have that module, as I said, the specialist module of the 10-hour teaching practice module. You can take that with it as well.
Yeah. And I think that's it from us guys today. If there's any last question there, pop it in. But yeah, a big thank you again for everybody. Really great to see you all interested in getting ready to enroll. It's exciting. And as I said, please.
Questions, guys. It really makes our job easier when we know what you'd like us to answer.
Yeah. So feel free to use that code, and a review would be great. And anything else, get in touch. Okay. Thanks a million, guys.
Thanks, guys.